I only wish it had been under different circumstances.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the most significant differences between HBO's original show The Penguin and its source material, diving deep inside the pages of the Batman comics universe. As we're going to be covering the first 5 episodes of the show's first season, keep your umbrella handy because it's going to be raining spoilers.
You really think people would make a float of your dumb face and march you down the street chanting your goddamn name?
The Long Halloween. In an interview, show creator Matt Reeves discussed that his main inspirations for the show were Al Pacino's Tony Montana and the Batman comic The Long Halloween, which tells of the bloody war between the Maronis and the Falcones, all instigated by the Holiday Killer.
Johnny Vitti was murdered tonight.
Damn it!
The Roman's nephew.
He has a name. It's Carmine Falcone, not the Roman.
Harvey, calm down.
Where were your men, Jim? I've been working on Vitti for months.
In The Penguin, Oswald Cobb takes over the Holiday role in the story, serving as mastermind to the conflict. However, that is where most similarities end. But don't worry, we'll be coming back to both storylines as we slide through this video.
All right, listen, if I don't come out, I'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Gotham. The ever-changing context and scenery of Gotham always serves as a jumping-off point for many of the Dark Knight shows and movies, and this time is no exception.
The city streets are crowded for the holiday. Even with the rain.
In Matt Reeves' Batverse, Gotham City is plagued by crime, corruption, and a surprisingly low sea level height. While the first few points are usually a no-brainer, the inclusion of seawalls and the threat of flooding is a first for the live-action iterations of the city.
You ready? Everyone's already on the roof.
I gotta drop this off real quick, but I'm gonna meet you up there, okay?
As seen in the 3rd episode of the show, the Crown Point neighborhood, home to Victor's family, is a hub for the immigrant, mainly Latino inhabitants of the city. It was a vibrant, colorful, and tightly knit community, in sharp contrast with the comics, until a flood came and brought the neighborhood closer to its literary description as one of the most violent and worst neighborhoods in the city.
No one really cares about Crown Point, so...
Magpie. During the show's 4th episode, we get the very disturbing and oh-so-very talked-about flashback involving Kristen Miliotti's Sofia Falcone. During her first night in Arkham Asylum, Sophia meets Magpie.
You're the hangman, aren't you? I saw you on the TV. My name is Magpie, like the bird.
Played by Marie Bueta, she can be overlooked given the stacked cast. Despite this, her character has a somewhat lively comic book background. Actually premiering in a Superman comic, Magpie made her debut in the Man of Steel #3 in 1986. This strange jewel thief has an affinity for bird-themed valuables, thus her name. Slowly becoming mad, she fashioned booby-trapped replicas of the jewels she stole. She was stopped by Batman and Superman and landed in a cell in Arkham right next to Poison Ivy. In an interview with Screen Rant, actor Marie Bueta mentioned that as soon as she got the part, she, quote, ordered every single comic that featured Magpie and got to reading and studying. We sincerely hope the deep dive prepared her for taking a food tray to the face.
We can celebrate holidays and birthdays. Mine's in February, which makes me an Aquarian.
Victor Vic Aguilar. Played by Renzi Feliz, he has been a very welcome addition to Reeves' Batverse, albeit on the wrong side of the law.
You act like wanting more is a bad thing, but, I mean, don't you want a better life than this?
Victor.
If you remember where we came from, we have more than enough.
His last name Aguilar comes from the Spanish word for eagle, very much in keeping with the bird theme. Vic is somewhat of a grounding element for the power-hungry Oz, always reminding him of where he came from and his own struggle in coming up the ranks of the Gotham underground.
You stayed because you want something better. You want more than your father ever had.
Oh, my dad would be ashamed of me.
You want to know what's shameful, Vic? Working your whole goddamn life, having nothing to show for it.
He's described by many as a representation of the Robins in the Batverse, continuing the long-standing tradition of employing orphan kids for questionable jobs. Some point out the obvious reference to Jason Todd, who was also recruited by his mentor while trying to steal the wheels off his Batcar. In the comics, a relatively unknown character called Chick once served as the Penguin's teen sidekick. But other than the familiar-sounding name, the relationship between the two is more coincidental. Theories about his future in the universe are varied and numerous, some even naming him the first Robin or even a Nightwing-type character. The show's 5th episode has very much put him on a path to villainy, so we'll have to see if it holds.
My mother, my father, they won't stand for me.
That's what I'm counting on.
Bliss. Drugs and Gotham go together like peanut butter and jelly. In The Batman, the narcotic flooding the streets is called drops.
Jesus, I hate drop heads.
Really? Because when I first saw you, it looked like you were dealing with Penguin.
You don't know what you're talking about. Can we not do this right now?
As we move into the show, a new, more potent substance is introduced into the mix. Masterminded by Alberto and Sofia Falcone, this new drug was supposed to be a way to take business to a new level. After Alberto's tragic fall down a flight of stairs, Oz saw this as an opportunity to start climbing the ranks. A byproduct of the resin from mushrooms grown in Arkham itself, the drug was given to inmates during Sophia's stay in the asylum.
These people need to escape, and nothing delivers a better escape than bliss. That's why they gave it to us in Arkham.
It induced a state of euphoria and a welcomed disconnect from their reality. As Oz would later call it, a sense of bliss. In one Teen Titans comic arc, Bliss had little to do with feeling good about your surroundings, and more about surrendering your brain power to a villain called the Brain in an effort to expand his mental capacity. Party drug or not, Bliss follows a long line of chemical compounds in the Batman universe, and its connection to Arkham in the show could lead to other more notable substances like fear toxin, venom, or laughing gas.
You think they deserved it, huh? You think they deserved it.
The Iceberg Lounge. Serving as a base of operations and a cool place to have a villainous good time, in the comics, the Iceberg Lounge was the proud creation of the gentleman of crime, Oswald Cobblepot.
This man is the best assassin I've ever seen, and I only work with the best.
I am to please, Mr. Cobblepot.
While we got a glimpse into the infamous nightclub in The Batman, it has fallen into disrepair during the events of The Penguin. This time around, the club belonged to Carmine Falcone and was only given to Oz as a front for both the drops trade and serving ice-cold corruption to Gotham's elite.
Who is she?
I really don't know, Chief. I might have been coming out same time, but I wasn't rolling with him.
The Iceberg Lounge put Oz on the criminal map and gave him enough power to get his fins in the game. While the future of the lounge in Reeves's Batverse is still uncertain, the fact that Oz found a new base of operations deep within Gotham's old tram system is a good sign that we're only seeing the tip of the... you get it.
Welcome to our new base of operations.
The Maronis. One of the more robust elements of the Penguin is the Moroni family structure. While they had earlier appearances in the comics, it's during the events of the Long Halloween comic series that the Moroni crime family really came into the mainstream. At that point, the Maronis were composed only of Luigi, his son Salvatore, and his grandsons Pino and Umberto.
What happened to your friend's face, Moroni?
Nothing. What happened to yours? Oh, you mother...
Tell me everything he said.
If you get off of my neck...
As the villain Holiday starts targeting Moroni men during the events of the comic, an all-out war breaks out between Gotham's biggest crime families. The conflict lands Sal Moroni in the witness stand in front of Harvey Dent, with a bottle of acid between them. Reeves bolstered the Moroni family for the Penguin, bringing only Sal over and putting him in the hands of legendary character actor Clancy Brown.
What is it you're really after, Oz?
I just told you what I'm after. What do you mean?
I know who you are. I know what you are. I don't work with people whose loyalty is for sale.
This iteration of the Maronis included new and exciting members in the form of Nadia Moroni, played by Shore Agdashlu. The introduction of Nadia broke the Italian-centric trope of the mobster ingrained in the comics. Being of Iranian heritage, the character of Nadia filled the Moroni ranks with a diverse crowd of henchmen and goons. Sadly, the outcome of the show's 5th episode will bring with it a new Sal that will more than likely join Sofia Falcone in her hatred for our flightless protagonist.
We kill Oz, and then we take over the city. Together.
The Falcones. While the Falcones are a staple of the comics, the family structure was changed to better suit the show's universe. With the death of Carmine Falcone in The Batman, The criminal organization is headed by his brother Luca, underboss Johnny Viti, and consigliere Milos Grappa.
What the hell are you doing? Supporting Uncle Luca. Same as you. You passed the meatballs.
The show includes characters that fill out the Falcone family ranks, such as Isabella Gigante, Sofia's mother, and Carla and Gia Viti. During the events of the Long Halloween, the apparent death of Alberto Falcone at the hands of Holiday marks the beginning of a conflict that would bring about the return of Sofia Falcone and a war that will trap Harvey Dent, Jim Gordon, Batman, and Catwoman in the middle with all of Gotham's freaks.
You think I'm Holiday? Oh, puppet, I didn't know you cared.
In the show, Carmine's death is the powder keg, and Oz becomes the proverbial match that lights up the conflict between the two families. And there's the return of Sophia, who, while very much a made woman in the comics, is treated as an outcast and a nuisance for the new heads of the family in the show. They desperately try to get rid of her as she vies for a seat at the table. After the family suffers a suspicious end, Sophia takes the reins and decides to change both her and the organization's name to Gigante.
As of today, my father's legacy is dead, and we will never speak his name again. From this point on, I am a Gigante, and this is a new family now.
While taking the Gigante name for herself is comic accurate, Falcone's name remained throughout the comic book run. Sofia Falcone, a.k.a. Sofia Gigante. There's betrayal, and then there's what happened to Sofia Falcone.
He is punishing me for something he did.
You don't know that.
Alberto, wake up! Are you kidding me?
Having witnessed the death of her mother, her childhood wasn't exactly a happy one. With the help of her brother Alberto, Sofia was able to overcome many things, even becoming the public face of the Falcone family. Everything came crumbling down after realizing that her father was not only responsible for the Hangman murders, but also for the death of her mother. She was framed for her father's murders and spent 10 years in Arkham Asylum.
For 10 years, men have lied to me. And then I come home, and it's all the same.
Other than the physical differences between the original character and her Penguin counterpart, her character arc is the one that most distances itself from the source material, first appearing in The Long Halloween. The tall and very muscular Sofia Falcone returns to Gotham for Father's Day. A violent, calculating, brutal daddy's girl, Sofia relies on her savage physical nature to protect her father, but ultimately fails in this task. Returning later in the follow-up story Dark Victory, Sofia names herself the head of the Falcones and takes up the mantle of the Hangman, punishing cops who worked with Harvey Dent against her father. While she would adopt the name Gigante after marrying mobster Rocco Gigante, the impact of the name change is hardly felt. Her punches, though? That's another story. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Oswald Oz Cobb, a.k.a. the Penguin. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Yes, they changed his name on the show. One of the first surprises that we got from the first episode was the reveal of our main character's actual name.
You really think people make a float of your dumb face and march you down the street chanting your goddamn name? Oh, Oswald Cobb. Remember him? What a guy.
Showrunners have explained that the name change came out of a need to ground the character. During the events of The Penguin, it's revealed that Oz came from a poor background. During the 5th episode, Frances Cobb, Oz's mother and another original character played by Deirdre O'Connell, mentions to Vic that the family lived in Crown Point, one of the poorest areas of Gotham.
This looks like the apartment I have my boys. I hate it here.
In keeping more with the Scarface connection we mentioned at the beginning, the show steers more towards a mob-based Goodfellas-style story, staying away from the wealthy upbringing of Oswald Cobblepot in the comic books. In the first episode, the creators make a point of showing Oz's disability, a clubfoot, which more than likely went untreated as a child and has become the main reason for his signature walking style. In the comics, this condition is hardly mentioned, linking his Penguin persona more to his physical appearance and tragic upbringing. Contrary to the show, where the Penguin moniker is used more as a derogatory term. and is obviously a trigger for Oz considering what happens to those who decide to use it.
But people don't keep you around because they think you're smart. And they sure as shit don't trust you. Nah. People keep the Penguin around as entertainment because everybody knows that you're a goddamn joke.
What has been your favorite moment from the Penguin? Let us know in the comments.
Stay put. You do anything stupid, I'll sense it.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.